Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. No matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland brothers. Come on, begin it and join in the fun. Travel all over Australia.
Our first story in Ask the Leyland Brothers today comes from Augusta, over here in the southwest of Western Australia, where we're going to have a look at the world-famous Augusta Jewel Cave.
And then in Queensland, at Buderim here, we take a look at ginger factory. We show how ginger is grown and processed.
Then we're off to Papua New Guinea, to Port Moresby, to have a look at a crocodile farm. We've come to the southwest of Western Australia, near the township of Augusta, to have a look at the Augusta Jewel Cave, because we have a letter from Bradley Spence of Hope Valley Naval Base in Western Australia. Bradley said, "I'd like the Leyland Brothers to make a film on the Augusta Jewel Cave. I believe it is one of the best in Western Australia." Well, Bradley, we're going to have a look at it for you and just see what we think.
Before we go underground, I meet Cliff Spackman, who discovered Jewel Cave.
How did you discover the Jewel Cave, Cliff?
Well, back in 1957, I took a party out looking for caves in the limestone country, and this is the original hole of the Jewel Cave. We found this little hole going through, and the chaps with me lowered me down by rope. I went down a distance of 66 feet onto a mound, then from there into a huge cavern, and I had a very strong torch. I shone it round, and it looked to me to be a very large cavern, and below looking down I could see water. But I could talk to the chaps up top. They put their head over the hole, and I gave them a running relay description of the scenery I could see around. I could see a terrific amount of formation, and I could see the potential of it, of the cave.
Cliff's son, Ron Spackman, is a tour guide for the Augusta Jewel Cave and offers to show us some of the cave's highlights. Jewel Cave has an excellent lighting system to show off the formations to the best advantage. A huge spear-shaped stalactite hangs from the roof of the cave amongst a myriad of tree roots that have reached down seeking the cave's moisture. The southwest corner of Western Australia, between Cape Naturalist and Cape Lewin, has 120 known caves. Amongst these are some of the most spectacular in the world. Only 4 have been opened to the public: Yallingup, Mammoth, Lake, and the pick of the bunch, Augusta Jewel Cave. Its fame has spread all over the world. A wooden walkway raised above the lake allows visitors to see the most spectacular sections of the huge cavern. Last year, 40,000 people marvelled at the wonders of nature in these jewel-encrusted grottos.
Well, this area, Mike, is certainly one of the best examples in the cave of this helictite type formation, and you can see above you here there's literally millions of these helictites. Of course, for many years these helictites have really baffled people. People have tried to put a lot of theories forward on them, but as yet the theories just haven't got enough concrete evidence behind them. Of course, everyone's got their own pet theories on them.
What do you think?
Well, I believe, Mike, that many years ago, it's common knowledge that geologists believe around about 25,000 years ago, these areas were flooded out with water, these chambers. The ice melted, the water came through and flooded the chambers out, and I think they've evolved through crystallisation. But some basic theories you can put forward: when some of the straws looking around here you can see are blocked up on the ends. Under pressure, the solution will protrude out on the weakest point of the wall, and they're quite obvious. But I think, in fact, it's probably a combination of a lot of things that's created them.
And how old is this cave? Any idea?
Well, geologically, Mike, it's been estimated to be just under 1 million years of age, and the involvement of Jewel Cave and several caves surrounding this area have been created through the prevailing winds blowing across the coastline. A microscopic shell we call foraminiferous blended with the sandstone created the basic limestone you can see around you here, and from then on, of course, these big chambers we're standing in have been dissolved out by the acids from the soil and rainwater over thousands of years.
The coloration that's in it, that's from the soil above?
Well, you can see earlier on in the sections where you were filming, you saw a lot of that reddish colour. That, of course, is the iron oxide from the gravel beds. The coloration around us here is just calcium carbonate, which is evaporated and solidifying. At the moment here, Mike,
Tunnels join up the numerous caverns and grottos.
We'll go up and have a look at this possum skeleton. That's about 160 years of age. Good. This skeleton we're having a look at on the floor here, Mike, is a skeleton of a brush-tail possum, and the bones have been estimated around about 160 years of age. And we think possibly, judging from the fact over here on this flowstone section, all these broken formations on the floor, it suggests the animals possibly died of fright rather than the starvation. In several areas of the cave, we've found quite rare animals in the cave, particularly one called the Thylacynus, and of course this possum skeleton's only a baby compared to the Tasmanian tiger, which has had carbon-14 datings in it around 18,000 years, and of course is a pretty good find. But Jewel Cave is an unusual type of cave. Finding animals like kangaroos in the cave suggests there's been another entrance. Looking at the original entrance to Jewel Cave, it certainly doesn't suggest that larger animals could have got into the cave. There must have been another access point into the cave thousands of years ago, and due to natural rock falls, there's been collapses. These animals have become trapped in the cave. But of course most animals originally would have been led into the cave through one of three reasons. Either they've used the cave as a lair to trap other animals, a place to rear their young, or maybe they've just come into the cave to drink from the crystal clear waters in the cave.
Augusta Jewel Cave has a lot to offer. We could only show a small portion of it here. It would have taken an hour to see it all. A magnificent example of nature's work in the southwest of Western Australia.
It's delicious. It's ginger beer. Ginger beer has been popular as a drink with man for centuries, but not many of us give much thought to the basic ingredient, which is ginger. But someone does. David Easton of Maroochydore in Queensland wrote to us and suggested that we should film the ginger factory and ginger growing at Buderim in Queensland. Well, the ginger plant looks like this, and it's at this stage that it's harvested from the ground.
Ginger is related to bamboo and is the first real oriental spice introduced to the Western world. During the Second World War, a shortage of ginger forced the Australian ginger industry to come into being, and the climatic conditions here at Buderim proved ideal. Today it produces the highest quality ginger in the world, and one of the reasons it is held in such high regard is the timing of the harvest. When the plants have been in the ground for around 5 months, it is harvested straight away. The root-like stem which grows underground is known as the rhizome, and even though this can usually reach twice this size if left in the ground long enough, it develops a tough, fibrous texture and a thick skin. This sacrifice of quantity to produce quality puts the highest possible price on Australian ginger. During the few weeks of harvesting, a continuous stream of trucks arrive at the Buderim ginger factory loaded to capacity with crates of ginger rhizomes. It's critical that all the ginger is washed clean and preserved in brine within 24 hours, otherwise decay begins to set in. The first rough wash removes the worst of the soil, before the ginger is carried on to a tumble washer which is equipped with high-pressure jets. This process must be carried out on each truckload separately so that each grower's actual yield can be weighed and recorded. A sample of each crate is taken and recorded against the grower's name for quality analysis. The ginger rhizomes are held in massive brine tanks ready for processing in the factory. To ensure that no deterioration takes place in the brine storage, constant checks are made and the solutions are replenished. In the factory laboratory, checks are made on the farmer's samples. The quality and texture of the samples are used to determine the price paid to the growers. The factory processing of the ginger begins with hand trimming of the rhizomes. As the ginger stems are never uniform in size or shape, this part of the process must be carried out by hand. Slight imperfections in the ginger are removed and general trimming of unwanted portions carried out. Since the factory stores large supplies of ginger in brine, the factory can be kept supplied all year round in spite of the very short harvest season. The demand for ginger comes from all over the world, and different users require the ginger to be diced to different sizes. Here at the Buderim factory, ginger is cut to suit the size requirements of the customer. At one time, the cleaned up ginger was cut to size by hand too, but recently the factory has developed its own machine, which automatically slices and cuts the ginger to size. This machine has removed some of the boring work in the treatment. After cutting into the required size, the pieces are carefully and scientifically cooked and syruped to achieve the right degree of softness while retaining the essential flavour. 1 tonne of sugar is used for each tonne of ginger. Laboratory tests are carried out on samples here too to ensure a uniform standard of quality. The syruped ginger is sold in jars, cans and drums, and a large percentage of it is exported. This golden ginger is highly sought after by confectioners. About 90% of the world's ginger chocolate contains Australian ginger. Some of the ginger produced is crystallised in this air-conditioned drying room. Exacting control of the humidity and temperature is essential to produce the crystallised ginger. The syrup has been drained off and the ginger pieces coated with sugar. Packing of the finished crystallised ginger into retail packs is also carried out here for the local market. This kind of crystallised ginger has long been considered a delicacy. In early taverns, jars of ginger were placed on the bar to be chewed while drinking the heavy malt ale of the day. In fact, the practice of providing ginger in public bars only ceased just before the Second World War. Ginger has many uses and has been considered one of the leading spices for thousands of years. The retail products of Australian ginger vary considerably and include ginger beer, ginger bread, chutney, sauces, spreads, marmalades, wine, and even toiletry perfumes.
We've had many letters from school children all over Australia asking to see something about crocodiles, and quite a few have asked if there's any crocodile farms. Well, we've come to Papua New Guinea, not far from Port Moresby, to have a look at the Department of Natural Resources crocodile farm, where they're encouraging the village people in rural areas to farm crocodiles.
A letter from Susan Swan, who lived in Port Moresby for 3 years and is now in McDowell in Queensland, suggested the best time to visit the crocodile farm is at feeding time, when the huge crocs come out of the water to eat. Feed time is once a week at 3 p.m. on Friday. These are freshwater crocodiles. They mainly eat fish. The crocodile farm has both fresh and saltwater crocodiles. The reason the farm has been set up is to study the crocodile and teach village people farming techniques. Like so many countries, Papua New Guinea's population of crocodiles was being shot out for their valuable skins. Hunters killed every crocodile they could, whether it was large or small. The people who lived on the rivers and swamps could see the crocodile population diminishing. The villagers in the larger swampy river deltas relied on the income from the sale of the skins, and something had to be done to save the situation.
They like dirty things. The way it opens its mouth up.
In this pool lives a monster saltwater crocodile, the largest in captivity anywhere in the world, according to the staff here. Measuring just over 6 metres, he would weigh more than a tonne. These big crocs are very rare, as they are the first to be shot in the wild, because the bigger skin means more money. Now the government has banned the sale of big skins and only allows smaller ones to be sold. This allows the bigger breeding stock to produce more young. It's a long-term project, and it seems to be working well so far. The monster croc is remarkably silent as it moves. They are cunning hunters and wait just under the water until an unsuspecting animal comes to drink. Then they grab it and drag it under to drown. The main work carried out here at the government crocodile farm is experimenting with feeding and checking growth rate of small crocs, also teaching village people to handle crocodiles and rear them properly.
Belly skin. Belly skin.
Measuring the crocodile is important in checking food requirements. A crocodile about 1 metre in length will need 250 grams of food per week to keep up its growth rate. Some young crocodiles need to be force-fed until they get their appetites. This is a time-consuming job. The farm manager is Baron Narcook.
Why is the crocodile farm set up here?
As a demonstration farm to encourage the crocodile industry in Papua New Guinea, and we have courses running every year for the officers in the field to come into for a short course here, so that they can get updated information to help them do their work out in the field.
We're in the crocodile pen, and these men here are trying to catch some crocodiles to actually kill them and take the skins from them. The crocodiles that are in these pools here are about 3 years old, and they have to feel around in the water with their hands and feet till they find one that's about the right size. There's also smaller crocs here, and they only kill the ones that are about 3 or 4 years old.
The field officers learn crocodile handling techniques, then go into the villages to teach the village people how to farm their crocodiles. The villagers must build their own holding pens and capture young crocodiles just hatched from the egg. In the wild, only 1% of baby crocodiles grow to maturity. This way, almost 100% can be grown for their skins. All the crocodiles are measured and weighed before they are killed. The field officers have to learn the correct skinning techniques to pass on to the villagers. This is a freshwater crocodile. It's about 1.3 metres long, and when he's killed, which is going to be in a few minutes, he'll bring about 80 kina for his belly skin. And that's not bad when you think that he's only possibly 3 years old. And it's a good industry for the local people to get into up here in the villages, where they can get them very small, and in 3 years they've got a skin worth 80 kina. Oh. The crocodiles are quickly killed and skinned. The tail meat is sold to a Port Moresby restaurant for $7 per tail. Last year, the farm killed 269 crocodiles, and the skins netted $30,000 US. An industry set up to save the wild crocodiles and give the village people a good income.
Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, no matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland brothers. Come on, be in it and join in the fun, travel all over